channel. I am so sorry for the delay. This is the longest I've gone without making a video since I started my channel. I've had a lot going on, family, health, puppy, so much going on. I won't go into detail. I apologize, but I am back. But my last video that did not go up, or it went up and then I had technical difficulties with it after re-uploading it 3 different times. Super frustrating. So that delayed me quite a bit too. But yeah, I'll have to come out with another Power of Makeup video to make up for that one that did not work out too well for me. So anyway, this video is my foundation, my drugstore foundation routine for dry skin. As many of you already know who watch me regularly, I have pretty dry skin, and it is a struggle putting, especially when your skin is super dry, getting makeup to not look super textured and just terrible on your skin. Over the years, I have just accumulated a bunch of different techniques from different people and just learning on my own, and I have found the best way to apply makeup to my desert of a face. So if you want to see how I do that, just keep watching. Thanks for being patient with me. Let's get right into it. Okay, before we get started, I'm going to address this bruise on my eye. No, I did not get in a fight. No, nobody hit me. I bruise extremely easily. I am anemic, and actually, I can't even explain how this happened. I took a nap yesterday, and I'm on a new medication, and it makes me sleep super hard. And I woke up and I had this on there. It's really weird. It's there, but it doesn't hurt. I can touch it. I don't know where it came from. It's there, but I can easily cover it with makeup, so that's a good thing. But obviously you can see it right now. So I had to address it so you don't think that, you know, I got beat up or anything. Anytime before I do my foundation, even when I do not have dry skin, I make sure to exfoliate very well. Most days I use just a gentle exfoliator. Other days I use more of a coarse one, or I use my, can't think of the name of it right now, the brush that moves in circles, that thing. Yeah, I use it with some of my favorite face wash, and I do that almost every single day because it is super important, especially when you have dry skin, any kind of skin, to exfoliate. So after that, I use a toner, but I use a toner that is good for dry skin too. The one I use is by Elizabeth Arden, but I know there's quite a few other ones. You just have to make sure it says that it's safe or good for dry skin, because a lot of just regular toners are extremely drying. The next thing I do is after I tone, I spray some rose water on my face. I have tried so many, and I can't really say I have a favorite one because none have really let me down, but right now this is my favorite one, so I guess I do have a favorite one, but it's just because I'm currently using it. This is the Pearlessence Rose Water. I will link it down below if you want to check it out. I really like it. I already sprayed this on. Then I put on my moisturizer. Even if you have oily skin, moisturizer is still extremely important. My favorite moisturizer, it's the Dirty Works 8-in-1 Miracle Cream, or Multitasker 8-in-1 Miracle Cream. It's a mouthful. Looks like this. I need some more. So now I will start putting stuff on my face. Normally I use a serum or an oil before I do my makeup. Most of the time I use my Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Oil. But lately I have been using the NYX Honey Do Me Up. I'm not sure the benefits of this for dry skin, but I do know, I feel like it gives me a good, almost sticky base for my makeup. And yeah, I don't know. Ever since I started using it, I've noticed a slight difference in the way my makeup stays on my face. So I do enjoy this, but I also put more primer on top of this, because I don't use it solely as a primer. Okay, so once that is on and set in, I go in with primer, and my all-time favorite drugstore primer when my skin is dry is the Hard Candy Sheer Envy Coconut Water Primer Stick. It looks like this. It's very cooling on your skin. It's supposed to help with redness too. It looks like that. It's just like a light blue, and I just put this all over my face, but it's also supposed to help minimize your pores. So yeah. and I feel like it has since I started using it, it has made a great base for my makeup, but also it's very hydrating, because a lot of times when something is, when a product claims to be pore minimizing, it tends to clump up on my skin. Not always, but sometimes, especially when my skin is super dry. So this is great for my skin. Once that sets in, once it dries in, I start with my foundation, and I can tell, you probably can't tell on camera because you can't really see a difference, but I can feel just the difference in my skin. It's smooth, there's not much texture anymore. Yeah. So that goes to show how important the base is before you even start with the foundation. Okay, so I'm using 2 foundations today, mainly because I don't have the correct drugstore color for it, because I'm self-tanned. It's kind of peeling on my neck, sorry about that. I'm self-tanned, and I don't know. It's a color that I've never really been before, I guess. I don't know. I have no explanation for it, but I'm using 2 different ones. But both of these are have always worked extremely well on my dry skin. So that's why I don't mind mixing them together for this video. I'm using the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation. This one's pretty popular. A lot of people talk about this. It's very, very high quality for the price. It's one of my favorite drugstore foundations. And then the number 7 Lift and Illuminate. If you have very dry skin and are looking for a really good foundation that's also pretty full coverage, I would recommend going for this. It goes on medium coverage, but you can definitely build it up, and it is extremely illuminating. Great for dry skin, yeah. And then this one doesn't claim to be good for dry skin, but it has done really well on mine so far. So I'm just going to mix those together, and I'm going to apply it with a brush, a flat top brush. This is my BH Cosmetics number 3 brush. But my skin is dry right now, but not extremely dry. If you do have extremely dry skin, if you're having a really bad day, patchiness and stuff like that, I do not recommend using a brush at all. I recommend using a damp sponge. Today I will be using both. Even with oily skin, I use the brush first and then the sponge. And my advice is to never rub, always pat when you have dry skin. Rubbing just makes everything worse. My concealer, and my go-to drugstore concealer. I guess it's not really a drugstore because I don't think they have it at Walgreens or CVS yet. They have it at Ulta, but it is with all the drugstore products. It's the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define. I did a video on this comparing this to Tarte Shape Tape because I like Tarte Shape Tape, but it does not do well on me when I have super dry skin. So it just cakes up. I've always strayed away from super full coverage concealers because of that. This is super full coverage, but it's also pretty moisturizing on me. When my skin is oily, I don't have issues with it, but I also don't have issues with it when my skin is dry. So that is why I like this so much, and it is $8 at Ulta, so you cannot beat that. And I am in the color C3. For this, I never use a brush. I use a damp sponge. This is a little tiny one that I got from Walgreens. It was in like a multi-pack of a bunch of sponges, and I really like this one for my under eye. this, I use the same sponge, I just use the flat part of it. My favorite setting powder right now for my concealer is the Airspun that everyone has been freaking out about. This is super popular and I was kind of scared to use it on my dry skin, but it works really well. Bruise is just lingering. Okay, so now I'm going to go in and set my entire face, and I'm using the NYX #NoFilter. This is one of my favorite drugstore powders for setting my face. It is not matte. It doesn't have a shimmer. I don't know if you can tell, but it's definitely not a flat powder. That's why I like it, especially for my dry skin. May not have to set their foundation, especially with drier skin, but I live in extremely humid climate, so I have to set it no matter how dry my skin is, or it will not go too well. This powder is a little light for me, so I'm definitely going to have to bronze it up a little bit. But as you can see, I am just patting, no rubbing. I should have put some color corrector over this bruise. I thought that the concealer would cover it up, but that is a strong bruise or whatever it is shining through. For my contour, I am using the Revolution Bronze Shimmer Highlight little palette, not palette, whatever this is. It doesn't have much of a shimmer to it, but I also do feel like it's not super flat on me, so that's why I like it. And I am using the BH Cosmetics number 4 small contour brush. Blush, whenever my skin is super dry, I like to use a blush with kind of a little bit of a shimmer to it. It's not a necessity, but for me it kind of is, because sometimes a matte blush just seems to look a little patchy on me. It just seems to add a little bit of illuminating look when I use more of a shimmer blush. I've used this in multiple videos before. This is one of my favorite blushes. I always get compliments when I wear it. It's the Hard Candy Baked Blush, and this is in the color Living Doll. For highlighter, if you wear highlighter and you have dry skin, I don't think it necessarily matters what highlighter you use. I feel like the technique is more important than the actual product. Yes, the product is important, but it really also depends on how you apply it. For most of the products that I use on my face, I use a damp beauty sponge. When I'm doing my highlighter, it's already damp, but I spray some of my Flower Seal the Deal Hydrating Setting Spray on it, just to kind of moisten it a little bit more. And sometimes I also spray this on my face before my primer if I need a little extra moisture. So today I'm using the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Highlighting Bar, Gold Highlight. So now that is on, I'm going to finish my eye makeup, and then I will be back to do the setting spray and finish the video. Now, the last step that I always do is spray my setting spray. I'm using the Flower Seal the Deal setting spray, but another one of my favorites is the Tarte Ready Set Radiant. No, this is not drugstore, but it is definitely worth mentioning because it is one of the best setting sprays I have ever used for dry skin. You need to try it. And this Flower Seal the Deal Hydrating Setting Spray is really great too. And that is it. I normally carry this around if I have my big purse on me or any travel size setting sprays that I have, I will bring around just to kind of, if I notice my skin starts to feel a little dry throughout the day, I just spray that and it helps drastically. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Super simple. I did use a lot of products, but I feel like a lot of them are necessary. This isn't going to work for everyone with dry skin, but you can take some of the techniques that I used and hopefully it will work out for you, because I know it is super frustrating having dry skin and trying to put makeup over all that textured mess. I hope this helped some people, and as always, thank you so much for watching. If you like it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and hit the notifications bell if you want to see more updates from me. Once again, sorry for the delay, but I'm back. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye, guys.